Welcome, everybody to the ELF Live Show. I'm your host, Silas Nacita. My co-host, Nick Alfieri, is out with hamstring, and I'm really excited to announce we might even have a better host than the ones that we normally have. Mr. Still Yo Girl himself, my man Jimmy Neutron, looking Nate Robitaille.
Chill out, Invader Zim. Relax.
Welcome, bro. I'm excited for you to be here.
I'm excited to be here, man. I love talking, so I'm excited to be here. I love talking about football, and I'm excited to kind of see what's going on in the European League of Football world.
Well, it's you're another one of those guys that I've known for a long time, but haven't gotten a lot of time actually in person to hang out with. So it's always good to talk to you. You've been in Europe playing football for what, 20, 25 years now?
About 20, 23, 24 years, it feels like. Well, if I was there for that long, hopefully I'll get an IPP by now. Shoot.
I know, right? Hey, that's a good question, man. Do you ever get jealous of these European players that get to go play in the NFL?
No, I never really even looked into it, honestly. I never really kind of watched that, and like even when I played with Bada, and I know he went, and then Schwäbisch Hall tried to claim him as theirs, even though he came from Ingolstadt in the Munich area. I never really looked into all that stuff with all those guys. So I mean, happy for them. It's an opportunity for them to get better. Now, yeah. I've had some other guys and had some conversations with people that speak about the IPP and all that, and they said it's kind of a crapshoot because you got a bunch of guys from America that can play just as much or just as good. So why give them a chance? But you have to make the game global. You have to make money, and that's how you do it. Is you get all these other people from around the world to get invested into the NFL some way, somehow.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've always been like, dang, man, these dudes started playing football 5 years ago and they're in the NFL, and I never had that chance. So sometimes I'm just like, man,
you work so hard.
I know, man, but I love it for them. I'm glad that it exists. But anyway, everybody, welcome to the show. We got some cool news for you, and we'll jump right into it. Let's talk about the Vienna Vikings. Vienna Vikings got a rebrand this week. What do you think about that new logo, Nate?
When I first saw it, just even on here, I said it looks like a steakhouse logo.
It does.
I said it looks like a steakhouse logo. So I mean, hey, to the V and the Vienna sticks out. I don't get the whole like coffin looking head, but the Viking. Oh, it's a shield.
Is that what it is? It's a shield.
It's a shield. It has to be. It must be a shield. I never seen
a
shield.
Bro. It's a helmet. The white part's a helmet, and the yellow part's the beard.
Really?
I think so. Maybe y'all should comment below. Yeah, look at it. If you look at the old logo, the yellow part's the beard.
I like the old logo. I mean, Minnesota Vikings and all that stuff, so it makes sense. But yeah.
I mean, I like it. I think it's smart to rebrand. Here's the thing. You got two teams. You got the ELF. We know that this old logo is going to remain the same for the Austrian Football League. And I think it's good to separate the two because it was kind of confusing. I remember when I was playing with the Dragons, Danube Dragons, we played against the Vienna Vikings. They had the exact same logo as the ELF team. And so there was really no way to distinguish who you like. If you're from America, you're not going to know the difference. And so I think rebranding it is probably a good idea.
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree with the rebranding. Me personally, I don't know. I'll stick to the old logo. It's a little better. For me personally, I think it's a little better, the old logo.
Yeah. To each his own. Vikings got another announcement. They got a new stadium for their home opener. This is Generali Arena. I don't know where that is. I'm assuming it's in. Is that in Vienna? I don't know.
It says it's about 17,000 people, built in 1925.
Against the Swarco Raiders, that'll be a good, a great home opener. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, that's always a good battle. I never, to be real. So you've only played in Germany. I never really understood or looked at the the play style of football in other countries. I mean, even being in the ELF now, everything that I've been is just straight Germany. So
You've only ever played in Germany?
Oh, Finland, but that was in the COVID year. But like when you're, I almost said when you're playing real football. I love you in Finland. They play real football, but but when you don't really look at the other countries, I guess. I mean, I know I don't really look at the other countries, and it's kind of just I look at what teams are playing that we have to play on the schedule. So I never really got to look at Austrian football as a whole. But I know Vienna they've been doing 10-0 last year. And Tirol's always in the hunt for something. And I know when those two teams play, it's always a good matchup. But I honestly have I couldn't sit and tell you how good Austrian football really is. I've never played against it. I've never kind of sat down and watched the game.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, for how small the country it is in comparison to Germany, those two teams right there have been predominantly some of the best in Europe. So that's always impressive to me. But yeah, let's jump right into the signing center.
Yeah.
We got a new wide receiver for the Dragons, Imoni Donadell. They got their wide receiver one. He's a American coming from last year. He was messing around with the XFL. What is your take on these new receivers, Nate? So, I know that for coming from America, straight out of an NFL or XFL type deal receiver, your receiver, what's your take?
So two things. When I see a lot of stuff like this coming out, I do my homework on each guy that comes out to play. This guy, he did pretty good. The only thing is, when you come out to Europe as a receiver, you got to be on all the time. Or as a playmaker, you got to be on it all the time. So these guys, I hope that they understand that when they play the game in Europe, you're there to make an impact every single rep. And I think that's big for those guys. And I said to a buddy earlier is that people in Europe now, the guys that have played in Europe, they have to understand with the ELF and now the UFL and the XFL merger, whatever is the UFL, you have to be like on your game at all times because these coaches now, and it's happening this year, this is just the sprinkle of it, the beginning of it, that you have to be on because they're starting to look at all of these players now. And all these guys in the States are starting to see that you can play European football, and it's kind of a cool little thing to do.
Yeah.
So if you've been in Europe for a little while, you got to do your due diligence and do your homework on making sure your name stays relevant. Because if not, man, all these guys are just going to come over and take everything up. Especially because there's only limited spots for us as Americans. So you got to do your homework.
That's a great point, man. That is a very good point. I think we're moving towards the time where imports can't just come out and rely on talent alone to keep their spot. Most of the time, if you were an import and they liked you off the field and you put up adequate numbers, they're going to bring you back. It seems like that's not the case anymore.
It is not the case anymore. And you see guys with mediocre, adequate numbers, they're getting sent home after week 4.
Dang, yeah, that's a good point. So this is the first signing we've seen with Barcelona because another team in Spain has been taking all their people and taking up all the attention. Speaking of the Madrid Bravos, they found their cornerback, Andy Vera. He's joining. He left. He spent the last 3 seasons with Barcelona. He's moving on to Madrid. What do you think about that? I know Nick and I have talked a lot about Madrid being big brother in Spain now. What do you think?
I don't know the numbers wise of how many guys in Barcelona are actually from Madrid or that area, but I know Madrid has 2 good teams with Osas Rivas and Las Rosas. So I know they have a big football pool, and I don't know if a lot of those guys from like Andy, I don't know if he's from the Madrid area. So I think a lot of those guys are Spanish people are very proud. The guys that I know, they're very proud of where they're from and the area that they live in. So I mean, if he's from that area, and I know Madrid is making waves right now in catching on all these people and getting all these players from Spain. So I think they might have put together a good little squad moving forward for next year. Yeah. It's gonna be cool to see, but they're going into a conference where they got some animals in that conference.
Sure do. one of those teams being the Hamburg Sea Devils, who just signed defensive end Zari. I don't know how to Zaire Ugapo. You know that guy?
No clue. From New Zealand, I have zero clue.
Oh, he'll be a. I'm curious to know: is New Zealand, are they considered E?
Gotta be, yeah. Gotta
Are
be.
they
Yeah, that confuses me too. Brazilians, all the countries that aren't U.S., Mexico, Japan, or what the teams that this nations that have college football, whatever it is, youth football. I don't know how how all that plays out. I don't know what Zaire is. I would probably say he's an E. Have to be because there's no homegrown country.
Well, he's leaving the Prague Lions. Was there last year, and he's probably happy to get out of there. I'll tell you what, man.
Hey, don't do my. Hey, I feel for Prague. I feel for my man, Coach Zach. Like he's a great dude. I feel for them. It's just tough, bro. It's really tough trying to start up in the league and have everything be new. I understand that wholeheartedly. It's tough to and it's tough coming from where you're coming from.
Right.
So you're not playing in quote unquote the top leagues in Europe. So, man, and you got 25,000 teams in Germany. So you're going against not all the odds, but you're going against some of them.
Yeah.
Well, good for Zaire.
I would be. I wouldn't be shocked if Prague doesn't stay in the ELF. I wouldn't be surprised. I think because you're right. They're competing against a country next to them with 80 million people to choose from and 25,000, football team. So, but yeah, let's move on. This one is my. I kind of feel bad saying this. Let's talk about. I'll let you introduce the next guy. Introduce the next signing that we got.
Coming back to the Stuttgart Surge, cornerback Mitch Fedig was an all-star last year with the Surge. 27 years old, from Washington, played at Eastern Washington, actually where my coach from college was at. Don't know if he played with Cooper Kupp, but that's probably past his age a little bit. Yeah.
What's your experience with Mitch Fedig? What do you remember?
So I only remember the last play of the European League of Football championship game, and I caught a touchdown at the end, and he threw me to the ground. But he did apologize after. He came over to me. He was like, "Yo, my bad. I didn't mean to throw you." Just frustration. But I mean, good for him. I don't know him personally, but I've seen him. He's a man of faith, which is awesome to me. Really cool. Young guys that played with him in Schwäbisch Hall, I believe, where he played in Schwäbisch Hall. They said Mitch Fedig was the best DB they've ever seen, this and that. And so he's doing something right when he has his peers and people talking highly of him, which is a good thing to see, especially as an American import where you go and some guys don't know how to make a splash really. And
yeah,
I think he's done a good job. I mean, he's back for his third or fourth year in Europe. So, I mean, good for Stuttgart. Good for him. Yeah, sorry I didn't. It's just part of the game, my brother. If you're watching this, Mitch, I'm sorry. It had to happen.
Now is Mitch also the one that got hurdled by Glenn?
Oh, yeah. But,
man.
So I was actually blocking Mitch, I think, on that play, or half blocking. I knew Glenn had it, so I just kind of let up, and then, yeah, my boy Glenn did the rest.
Oh, we're here in the chat. We're seeing Mitch did play together with Cooper Kupp at Eastern Washington. That's pretty legit. Okay, that guy. I don't know anything about Cooper Kupp other than the fact that he's a baller, and he's one of those guys.
He's a good family man.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, that's huge for Stuttgart. I mean, I think Newman down there and what they're doing, just knowing who they are and how they play, that's a great pickup for them. And two, Stuttgart, man, they might, they're gonna be back in the playoffs.
Look at this. Andrew in the chat says Roby was supposed to be blocking Mitch on that play. Yeah, where were you? You weren't near him at all. Because if you would have done your job and blocked him, then he wouldn't have been on the poster getting hurdled.
Hey man, you know sometimes you gotta give people alley-oops, right? You just gotta give people alley-oops, man. I gave Glenn an alley-oop and he took advantage of it.
We need to move on because I'm tired of seeing the guards throw a pick against this guy. So starting with Also, staying with the Surge, this is a big one. The biggest signing to me is Sven, my man Sven. Sven Fisher moving to the Stuttgart Surge. This guy has been with Frankfurt for a long time.
That makes
He
sense.
was he was my guard when I played at Frankfurt. Was he a lineman for you when you played there?
I don't know if he might have been. I think he came after me. I'm not sure, but the redhead, man.
I'm curious to know what got him over there, man. That's a big deal. Jordan must have been on him for a while, because
people don't realize Coach Newman he recruits immediately. Like he's recruiting in season. He doesn't waste time when it comes to making sure he get everything right, so he doesn't have to worry about all that.
Yeah.
It's surprising to me. I don't know. I would love to talk to Sven and see why he made that decision. I think it's a good one for the team. Obviously, he helps out. He adds depth to that line. That one kind of baffles me a little bit because I always thought he'd be a Frankfurt guy through and through all the way.
Yeah, man. But that's a major pickup for Stuttgart. That guy, he's a seasoned O-line. We've talked about this in the past. O-line is probably the hardest players to develop in Europe, and to get good ones is key. Which brings us to our last signing, center for the Vienna Vikings, Matthew Daltrey. He's 27 years old from Scotland. He's re-signing with Vienna. He's been there. This will be his third season in Vienna. Second team All-Star from last year. Having a center, I think a center is the most important position on the offensive line. So having him back is going to be big for Vienna.
Looks like a burly dude. Looks like you won't need him on the front of your line. No, don't really know much about, like I said, don't really know much about the Austrian Football League and how things are run down there with Vienna. I know Coach Kalike does a good job. But no, that's good. You got to have a mainstay like that. He's there for 3 years, you said. You got to have a mainstay on your line. Continuity is huge. If you have a lot of continuity, you have a lot of success in Europe, and that's known by just seeing anybody that does win in Europe. You keep the same guys around. You kind of keep that culture together.
Yeah. I got a comment here that says, dude, why do you always got to diss on Prague? I'm going to give you my take on why I'd like to diss on Prague. Because I was Roby, did you get recruited to Prague?
I don't think no, I can't say I did. I think I had a conversation with Coach Harad, but that was it back in the day.
Zach talked to me for a long time about coming to Prague, and he was just talking it up. And we got this and that and this and that. And I was just like, man, I don't know. Czech Republic football, just not going to be much money in that. And so when you don't have much money in football, you can expect a lot of problems off the field, people not getting paid, you not getting paid, not getting the things that you're promised. And all the collapse that happened during the last season, I was like, man, if I had gone there, I'd be right in the middle of all of that. So that's why, to answer your question, Renee, why I kind of have to diss on Prague.
No, I mean, it's a cool city. I went there with the team after we won the German Bowl, and we had a blast. We did a bar crawl, had some absinthe shots and all that. It was pretty cool.
There you go. Let's move on, man. All right. So the next thing we got on our agenda today is we got our way too early power rankings by yours truly. We both have them down there. I'm curious to see what your top five are.
I forgot what I said.
So now let's start with number 5. Who you got for number 5?
Number 5, I put Poland. No, Wrocław.
Okay.
Wrocław, however you say it.
I want to say I said Paris. Did I say Paris? There it is. Yeah, I put Paris.
I said the Panthers because they have some of their imports there already. They've been working together. They're going to build a culture. They got some guys coming back from previous seasons and guys that said they retired. They got that a little American guy coming in. I think they're going to be, man, it's a team that I think they can rattle off some wins and rattle off some good things. And like I said, they're building a culture down there with the guys that are on their team, Americans, imports, all that. And they have the ability and funds to do it. So I think it's a huge plus for the Panthers.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Paris too because I think they have everyone knows they have the talent. They didn't. They might have they finished probably somewhere in the middle of the pack last year, but that was the first year they've been in the league. It's hard to get that going. I think 2 years underneath their belt, a second season they're going to be up there. But there's a few teams ahead of them that have too much structure already built. Who you got for number 4?
Yeah, 4 I said Paris.
Okay.
I said Paris just because of the. That's like a we know when you're younger and you live in the suburbs and you play the inner city squad. That's the type of team that I think Paris is.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of guys that can play. And I talked to Coach Mattioli, and I met him this past year, and just speaking about how he wants to run the team. And I think when you corral all those guys and you get them on the same track, going the same way, you saw what happened at the end of last season. They started putting wins together. They started kind of dominating here and there. So I think Paris is a team. They added some guys. My boy Dungy, shout out to Anthony. I think they'll be all right. And they got Zach back, so you got continuity with that. I think their receiving core, man, is if you got the right offensive system, their receiving core is dope. They got some big dudes. They got some quick dudes.
Yeah.
So I think they can put up points this year.
Number 4, who I got, Maxie? I got to remember. Number 4, I got the Munich Ravens. I think the Munich Ravens. I think what's going on down there in Munich is there's a bunch of players in that whole area that in the south of Germany that were really good, but they never went to Munich because Schwäbisch Hall was always around the corner. And so the people, if you were going to play football, that was a place to go, and there wasn't a lot of pride in Munich. But Munich is probably the most proud German city to be where they are, the people in Munich. And so a lot of the guys who grew up in that area, now that they actually have a good franchise to get behind, they're all flocking, pun intended, to Munich.
No, yeah, I agree with that. So for 5, I was thinking Wroclaw, Munich, or Berlin. That was like my 5, that 5, 6, 7 range was those 3 teams.
Who you got for 3?
3 Vienna, I think. I said Vienna just because of the continuity that they have. They bring back a lot of guys. Coach Kaleka does a great job. And the past 2 years, they won it. And then this year, they 12-0, whatever it was, ended up losing in the semifinal. They're bringing guys back. Don't know about their quarterback situation. Did they bring a new one?
Yeah, they have a new quarterback, I believe.
I don't know how that's going to be, but I just know like their homegrowns and their core base is still there. So if you have that, I mean, you just find pieces to fit in, and I think you'll be good. So I think they kind of stay running the same course as they've been running, and that's kind of where I have them at that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I also had the Vienna Vikings at 3. I think that the Vienna Vikings, for so long, they've kind of gotten comfortable being the best in Austria where they're at. Well, they won last year, so I'm not to say that they're comfortable, but I think there's just a lot more really good teams that they have to compete against, and I don't think that.
Well, who's in their conference?
Well, I'm talking about just in general, in the whole league, out of the whole league. But in their, I feel like their conference is weak. Yeah. Are they They're Eastern Conference, right?
Yeah.
I think to me the Eastern Conference is the weakest of all the conferences.
Yeah. Yeah, they got.
So I feel like they kind of have more of a cakewalk till the playoffs, and then that sometimes can be difficult to be kind of beating up on people all year and then show up to playoffs, and now you got to play for real.
Yeah, what he said, 2022 USFL first rounder, Ben Holmes will be the Vikings QB.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think the USFL disbanded after 4 games of that league that year.
The number 2. I think we had the same one on this. We both put Ryan Fire, right?
Yeah, I put Ryan Fire. Yep.
That's interesting. That's interesting that you would put your own team at number 2. Talk to us about that.
So what I did with Ryan Fire at number 2 was they have obviously you got some guys leaving. They have the same core, and this was the same thing. What I said 1 and 2, Fire, Surge. That's what I put at number 1 was Surge. I mean, you could put Fire at 1. Because they just won the championship. They're coming back with most of their guys. But the Surge, man, the signings that I keep seeing, that they got a new DB coming in from Oregon. Their defense they're loading back up. They got all the receivers back on offense. It's man, I don't know. We got to see. I think that's going to be a game. I think that's going to be something to look at. But I mean, yeah, I put Robitaille has everybody coming back, but I think for the continuity standpoint of it, for purely football, Stuttgart, I put them at 1 because they just have everybody coming back.
I put Stuttgart at number 1 as well, and the reason I put them there is because they're hungry, they're chasing, and when you're chasing, you always run faster when you're chasing than when you're running by yourself up top, and so I put them at number 1. Also because, man, Jordan Newman is he's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT of Europe when it comes to coaching, to figuring things out. And I mean, like you said, with the signings, man, they've already signed so many people. They're able to keep their homegrowns there. He does a really good job of making sure that the good homegrowns don't leave and go be eased somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he puts in the water to make them drink it, but he does a really good job of that. We just saw they signed another O lineman. They're going to be really good next year.
Yeah, they're sound, man. I mean, both. I think when I look at what he's done in the past and what he did this year, they're just a sound football team all around. I mean, and like I said, you can go 1 and 2 with Ryan Fire and Stuttgart, but like you said, you're a little different when you're chasing than when you're just trying to maintain.
I will say though, if they play against the guards, then I'm gonna have to bring them down to number 2. Put the guards up there. I mean, the guards did give Stuttgart their first loss of the season last year. So, I mean, other than the guards, I see the Stuttgart winning it all. So, as long as they don't have to play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, because that's one loss that's bound to happen.
But yeah, those are our top 5. I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about to see what happens. But we can move on now. We got a special guest who actually just signed as well. We can get him on the show. Tyrese Johnson-Fisher recently just signed with Prague. Tyrese, how you doing, man?
Is he watching it?
He's chilling.
Tyrese, are you watching the live stream?
Can you hear us?
Hello. I'm watching.
Oh, we can't hear you.
How are you guys?
Are you muted? Him and Coach Kosling been hanging out.
You got to mute the YouTube.
Can you hear us?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Still can't hear you.
Stateside, so just trying to.
He looks like he's in a McDonald's right now.
Get myself ready, and yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to be honest. So I'm just enjoying the journey.
Are you muted, man? We got a bunch of like millennials in here, man. How come we can't ever figure this stuff out?
I think he was watching it. I think he was watching the YouTube and then answering when we asked the questions on the YouTube and not listening to us when we talked to him in the studio.
Well, we can talk a little bit about him. He's 24 years old, from London, England. He played last year with 2023 with the Berlin Rebels in 2023. I think he played with Istanbul as well. I want to say.
Yeah, I work with PPI and all that and the kids. I just met him this past week. We had him come in and speak to the kids about like his journey and all that, and he had a lot of good things to say. Dude he's a workhorse. He's a grinder. He's down in Dallas right now training with some draftees for the NFL. He's really trying to push that envelope. So wish him the best and all that, but we try to get him on here.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can get him back in here. I know he's going to Prague. That's I know.
We know how you feel about.
You already know how I feel about Prague. I got someone in the comments is getting on me because he's saying, "Oh, we got all this new stuff, and you're not current." Well, I'm not talking about current, so I'm still I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yeah, I'm entitled. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's crazy to see that the league is. Oh, actually, one thing you know, it's crazy to see the international game.
What international game?
The international game that they posted where they're playing in Croatia.
Oh, yeah.
They have Italy, Vienna, Tyrol, Hungary, all in that area. Why are you flying in Hamburg and Madrid?
I mean, who knows, bro? Who knows?
What? It doesn't make any sense to me, man. You have all those teams there that it's, for me, feasible wise, money wise, it made sense. Just one team, three teams can drive there. One team can fly there 45 minutes. You can add everybody else in. It makes no sense to me.
I didn't actually look at that. I'm gonna have to look at that European map. I don't know my European map as well as I do. But it looks like we actually got Tyrese back in here. So can we get him here? Glenn, I ain't trying. I don't worry about getting in trouble, bro. I'll say what I want. Tyrese, what's up, man?
All right, boom. Does this work?
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good,
Finally.
man. Welcome to the show, brother.
Finally. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. You guys have done an amazing job. I'm happy to be here.
How you feeling right now? Roby said that you're down in Dallas. What's going on down there?
Yeah, so I thought, you know what? I got to put myself in the deep end when I sink or swim. So I thought I got to train with the best guys. I love the UK, but there's only so much we can do over there. So I thought, you know what? I really have to get myself over here. I actually am in Texas. I'm not sure if you can hear the sirens. That's all you pretty much hear in America all day, every day. So I apologize for that, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun.
You all I hear is birds, birds
Fake
and
news.
Yeah, no damn police out here.
He is in Dallas, bro. Dallas is traffic and noise.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Okay. What's up, Tyrese? How you living, man? I know we spoke last week. How did you come to the decision to go to Prague? What was that for you?
Yeah, most definitely. It was obviously good speaking to you last week as well. And I guess, just speaking to everybody, having like a really good feel of like what they're really trying to do, speaking to the coaches, there's a lot of experience. And so like for me, it was just a no-brainer because for me, it's more than just football. You're gonna commit to being in a family and you're also gonna commit to being with a bunch of guys who are there with the same intentions. And so definitely like having a conversation with all the coaches and having a conversation with some of the players, I just got that real sense of family and most definitely like a real eagerness to win. And for me, that's what I'm looking for.
What are your thoughts going into the season, knowing what happened with Prague last year, off the field, organizationally, all of that? Does it worry you at all?
It definitely did worry me at the beginning, but I'm not perfect myself, nor do I expect someone else to be if I'm not perfect myself either. So I understand like it's still a new league, still a new team. There are a lot of things that are still being figured out. But if there's anything that I can say, I'm seeing the right steps and most definitely seeing what they are trying to build outside of what obviously able to share for me, I think is just absolutely incredible. And also as well, like I support Arsenal. I'm a soccer fan. Like you guys say soccer, I say football. And I've seen us literally go from the bottom to now competing for championship. So I feel like if we can do it, then anybody can do it as well.
That's cool. Now when you made this decision, I know you said you're down in Dallas training. How's that process like? If you say you were to get it just happens and you get signed by an NFL team or say USFL or CFL or something like that. How does that process work then with you being signed to Prague? Is that what you would go there and they would bring you if you got cut, or what's that? Did we speak about that at all? Because it's all brand new to me. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so I guess my focus really is just going out here. I'm training with some really good guys, really good players, also as well training with some really good coaches, running back wise specific. And so the aim really is just to get myself in season shape. If anything happens in regards to NFL, I have no idea. But the main focus is, making sure that I'm ready to be able to give absolutely everything I can for the city, and then also as well give everything for my teammates. So I'm just trying to stay in the best shape possible. Well, not even stay. I'm trying to get in the best shape possible. I'm trying to cut down a little bit of weight. I put on a bit of weight since college, so I'm just trying to, definitely be able to help Prague do what they're trying to do this season.
Tyrese, is it true that you played in the Under Armour All-American game?
Yes, that is true.
Tell me I'm seeing that we get some information on our guests before they come in here, and I'm reading that, and I'm confused because you never played football and you got invited into that game.
The Europeans get everything.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, bro. What is that about? I didn't get invited to no All-American game.
It was a humbling experience, I'll be honest, because at that point, I was playing rugby. I'd also won national titles in 100 meters, 60 meters. And I got the opportunity from one of the coaches there, who basically said, hey, do you want to give football a go? And at that point, I had offers from when I was younger. I had offers from Michigan when I was like 15, 16, Angie Academy as well. And so I thought, you know what, at this point, let me just jump in again. Let me jump into the deep end. Let me see if I sink or swim. And, we had guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts, you can name them. And seeing those guys every single day made me realize this is the sport that I want to play, but then also these are the levels that you want to get to. And this is the sort of dedication that it takes in order to be great. And now you're seeing these guys in the NFL and you're seeing them, take to another level. So for me, as far as like a proper understanding of what football is and a proper understanding of work ethic, being able to see that so early in my football career has definitely just changed my whole perspective of not just football, but life as well.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's unbelievable, man. That's a really cool story. We're seeing someone in the chat say, hey, are you going to crack 2,000 rushing yards like you did with the Rams a few years ago? You ran for over 2,000 with Istanbul?
Hey, I don't know if you guys were doing that on some video game and you made a team, but that did not happen. But hey, God willing, you never know.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that when we played against them that one year. So I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember that either. But, hey, God willing, you never know, anything is possible, right?
No, but that's good. What are your expectations for like the next couple of months for you? I know you said you're training, you're really going hard at it. What's no homo? What do you really want to do with this football journey of yours?
Yeah, most definitely. I wish I had the keys. I wish I had the understanding as to that golden ball. I wish I had the golden crystal ball to be able to know everything that would happen. I guess where I'm at the moment is just trying to just figure it out, playing as hard as I can, seeing what God has in store for me, because I've seen it before, like anything can happen in this sport. So my thing is just being able to go through with the season, being able to show the guys that I'm just here, I'm ready to give my all. And then whatever happens. I can't put a finger on it, but I'm just excited to get started.
That's good.
Well, Tyrese, I appreciate you coming on the show. We're looking forward to seeing you. You have a really awesome story. I love how you have that mindset to just jump into the deep end and sink or swim. I mean, you're jumping in with Prague, so you're going to sink or swim there.
We're going to have to swim, find a way. Breaststroke that. Let's go.
So you know how to swim. That's great. That's great. You know how to swim.
You better bring some floaties, boy.
Just about. Hey, I floaties. I'm going to do that by myself.
We appreciate you coming on, bro. We'll have to have you back sometime. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Hopefully my Wi-Fi is better.
Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah. Appreciate.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí de la ciudad.
Ah, mira.
I think that was Madre.
2,000 rushing yards. That did not sound right, which was BS, which moves us into this next section as a perfect transition to truth or BS. That should be the first one. Did Tyrese run for 2,000 yards? Truth or BS? BS. Let's jump right into this first one. Truth or BS? What do we got? No kicker has ever scored a 60-yard field goal.
Well,
what do you think?
Being in practice and being at the game where Sam Van Tan kicked that really, really long one, they said it was 60, and I've seen him make 60 in practice. We used to badger him about that. So I've seen him make a 60-yard field goal in practice. Did it ever count as points? I think it was pretty close. So I would say truth.
Get in that link right there. It's in the comment section.
I'm gonna give him truth.
I'm gonna say BS. I think it was like 50, 58, 59.
You know, Coach Tom Sula, hey, 60 yards. You just kick guy right here, 60 yards, 60 yards.
That's what he says.
Yeah, so you know it is. You got to pump it up a little bit.
All right, we got a few. We'll give him like 10 more seconds here before we reveal.
I've seen Van 10 make 60 before, and I know the one in the game was back there. So if it wasn't 60, it was.
It looks like a lot of people are riding with me. It's probably because just a pure trust factor. They trust me more than you.
It's because I'm new.
All right, what do we got here, Maxie? What's the real thing here? Truth or BS?
Come on, Benji. You was there too when you was at practice.
Where's the answer at?
Benji over there trying to.
Oh, they didn't give it. Oh, we're getting word that it is true though.
It is true.
It is true. Wow. Okay. So you were right.
Hold on. How? You said have they made a kick that was 60 yards? Right?
From my understanding, it was what.
Has anybody made a 60-yard field goal? So how's it truth if it's only from 59?
Wait, yeah, that don't make no sense.
Somebody messed up.
Oh, no kicker has ever. Oh, okay.
Ah, there it is.
Dang, we're stupid, bro. We're both stupid.
No kicker has. Okay, it's wordplay.
You started it. You started it because you were like, "Oh, somebody has. It's true. Somebody has." And then I was just going against you, so I was actually right with what I was saying.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Blind leading the blind.
All right, let's get on to the next one. All right, no player had more than 250 receiving yards in a game.
I don't know about that one, man. That's a tough one.
How many have you had? What's the most you ever had?
No player had a game. I almost had 300 in one game, so I don't know. I think that if that cuts it, maybe. But you got to be careful with the wordplay. No player had more than 250 receiving yards in a game.
What?
No player had more than.
Bro, you had more than 250 yards in a game.
It's truth then. It's just no. Hold on.
No, it's false.
No, it's false.
So stupid, bro.
It's false. It's false. It's
Where's Nick? Give me Nick back. Give me Nick back. Call Nick. Somebody bring him back.
No, you wouldn't have the realness of this. Maybe now can
Bro.
now they go to Stanford or USC for 2 years, whatever it was. It is confusing. Thank you. Silas, you muted yourself.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Okay, so we're both saying BS then.
Yeah, it's BS.
Okay.
You guys making us read.
Amari said, Nate, you tweaking.
Yeah. That's my boy Jim over there. My boy Jim, sorry.
Nate Robitaille had 286. Dang, bro. And you dropped a couple passes too.
I dropped a couple, man. That's crazy. That's nutty. Yeah, I should have had 300.
Dang. All right, let's go next one.
Next time.
Adrian Clark has thrown for more than 500 yards in a game 3 times. I'm going to say true.
Yeah, I'm going to say truth because my boy, Big Gadrian was, man, he was slinging that thing this year.
Big Gadrian.
He was slinging that thing this year.
Why you call him Gadrian?
You know, when I get comfortable with you, I come up with nicknames. So he got that's just his. I got a bunch of nicknames for everybody.
What's your nickname for Glenn Tunga?
Boonga. Or Glenneth.
Glenneth. I like that. Glenneth.
Glenneth. I know Glenneth on here watching.
What about Yeezy _12?
Damn. Oh, easy. That's Jim. Sorry. I don't know why it came about, but anytime, I don't even have to say that whole thing. I can just say Jim, and if he's around, he look at me like, "What's up?" So I don't know. We got a connection, man. Once I'm with you and we understand each other, there's a connection there.
What about Benji? Benji Barnes.
Benji boobs.
Benji Barnes. I feel like Benji's one of those guys that just been around for like 20 years.
Hey, the first time I heard about Benji Barnes, he was the German Sherman. And I was like, who is the German Sherman? And it's just, and then I see this guy come out and it's Benji Barnes.
bro.
Said, Benji Barnes.
I'm about to roast Benji Barnes right now, my guy. We were playing Helvetic Guards in Switzerland, and he gets into argument with somebody on our team. And Benji starts yelling, check my resume, or something like that. And I was like, bro, he don't know who you are.
He plays in Switzerland. How does he know who you are, bitch?
Bro, they ain't no resume. They don't have highlight tapes out here and ESPN reels. And I'm like, you're gonna have to email him. You're gonna have to email him after the game.
But one thing about Benji, that boy has enough rings to fill up a treasure chest.
Yeah,
that boy has won in every single country that he played football in.
He does his research. ChatGPT, which team's gonna win next year in Finland? Hey, coach, let me pull up.
Benji was the MVP of the Poland League.
That's crazy, bro.
His name.
That's crazy. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I'll eat Benji
Max,
up.
hit us with is it true? Okay, it's true. Yeah, obviously, my man Jadrian Clark. We already seen this 22, 23, 22. I think any Jadrian stats we're just gonna hit true. Let's keep going. We talked enough about my man Jadrian.
I was there for all them games.
The record for most return yards in a game is higher than 300 yards. I'm gonna say.
Was it Istanbul or Prague?
I'm gonna say truth.
The record for most return yards in a game is higher than 300 yards by a player or a team. It's definitely true, especially when the score is like 60-0 or something like that.
Y'all are breaking Nate's brain right now with these stats.
The record for most return yards in the game is higher than 300. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say true.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna say truth.
Wait, what does the gym come from though? For Amari,
I think it was just Tom Sula. I think because that's when me and Omari met was in. Well, I got film of beating Omari when he was at Dresden. Mixed mic him a couple times and punt return got him. But when I got to Ryan Fire, yeah, I think it was just the whole Jim Tom Sula and Omari, and we used to call him. Now he probably don't want me to tell everybody, but it's not that bad. When we were watching film of Omari and Dresden and AJ Wentland and all those guys when they played in Dresden, we had nicknames for all of them. And our nickname for Omari that year was Osari. So it just came, everything just came full circle. And it was Jim Osari.
Osari Williams, bro. That's good.
So that's what it is. And like I said, once I get to know you, you know me, and we got that connection, I just be letting names fly. And whatever it is, and sometimes they just stick.
That's funny, bro. Luke Zaraka has entered the chat. We were true about that. He said Burrell and with Milan for sure.
Oh, I forgot about Milan. Ooh, snap.
Wide receiver 3 talking so much. I didn't know you were wide receiver 3, Roby. Dang, that's crazy.
You better check my resume, Jack.
You
can do a Benji and pull my resume.
Talking about check my resume, bro. That was good. 295. Okay, it was wrong.
Come on.
My boy Devin Burrell. That boy quick. That boy's quick.
Where's he going?
I think I forget where he's going. I don't know if he's
Poland.
Oh no, he's going to Roll Claw.
Yeah, Poland.
He's going to Coleslaw.
I told you, man. They're putting together a little squad, and they're working in the dark, which is what I love to see. That's I love to see that.
More like working in the snow.
Yeah, that is true. Roby is faster than Silas. Am I?
Nah, just let the chat decide, bro. Wait, hold on. What year? What year?
Yeah, that is true. Because I take 2015, 16. No way.
No way, no way that you were faster than me in 2015, 16.
Hold on, let me read that first.
Oh my gosh, bro. We're talking strictly just like intellect here. Strictly intellect.
I'm quick-witted, yo, so I don't know.
Except for when you have to read facts.
Yeah. I gave up
reading
in 2015.
I'm gonna say true. I'm gonna say true on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna say true too.
My 1 to 10 though. If you say hold on, actually, good question here. Good question.
Benji's in his feelings.
Is this is this a 10-yard dash or a 40? Because I think I got you on 10, but not 40.
I ran a 1.5 something on my 10.
Yeah, we're on a 1.49, baby.
Damn.
This is a fun fact. All right. Baylor 2016. I was number 2 on the team in the 10. And number 1 was a first-round draft pick, Corey Coleman.
Okay. What happened to Corey?
He went to the Browns, and then he just had attitude problems.
Oh, that's never good.
So he could have had a great career. He was nice in college. He was a Blitnikoff winner.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He was cooking. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Benji said I was faster. Let's go.
Benji might have been.
Benji has a great, you know what? And Benji has a great resume. He's very reliable.
Benji might have been.
Trust Benji. All right, so reveal it. Is it true or false? Because everybody else is saying
blue. What's blue? Even?
That means it's objective.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
That's
like that.
The people in the back. That's soft.
Is that the last one?
Everybody gets a
the
trophy.
Last truth or BS? Yeah, it is.
Everybody gets a trophy.
I like that, man. I like that. Oh, Corey's in the USFL. That's what he did.
Recycle, man. That's all they do.
All right, here's a good question. Who's the fastest player you've ever played against in Europe?
Oh, in Europe. Fastest player ever played against in Europe. I want to say there was a safety or a corner in Cologne. I remember that distinctly because he was flying. It was like I remember he was number 3. I remember watching. He was flying. He was a little guy, but I don't know. But I know he was fast as lightning. Yeah,
Turpin. They're saying Turpin. I didn't play against him.
Sure. I never played against Turpin, but I know he's in the NFL mainly because of his speed. And I saw Bull run a 40 at the little combine. Bull was fast too. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would you say is the GOAT of Europe?
The GOAT of Europe, Marco Ehrenfried.
For real?
Bro, if Marco came into this league too, Marco would be balling. If Schwäbisch Marco, because think about it, you have Marco that counts as the homegrown. So you can go out and get 2 receivers and just go have at it. And there's not many unless you go out and get 2 DBs, but man, we've seen that. We've seen DBs in Europe get beat. I just know. I think Marco, bro. I give Marco his flowers for real.
Dang, that's crazy. Casey Terrio.
Casey too. Casey from in the 2010s. Casey was balling. Marco caught on at the end, but Casey was a different breed. Totally forgot about my boy Casey. Casey Terrio is a different breed.
Yeah, but he also stepped into the most dominant team.
So ready with that, him step into that team too. He still has to make the machine run.
True, and he went over to Hildesheim when they sucked and still had went to the playoffs, right?
Glenn, you're not even from Europe. You Brexited. What'd you say, Silas?
I said he went to Hildesheim and went to the playoffs even though they were trash.
Yeah, for real. I mean, they went and got all these guys, and then they put Casey in there, and then I think that team, you hear a lot of people talk about it. On paper, it was the best team in Europe, but I mean, it all matters on the field and what comes at the end. But Casey I would say Casey or Marco. Casey had his very decorated career, and Marco is just, as a European player, but Marco's an animal.
Benji said Nate Morris.
Hey, that's a European. That's European. That's European. That's you.
Nate, man, that guy was crazy, man.
Nate, that's my dog. That's my people. So I get along with everybody. People always come to me, yo, Nate, just Nate Morris, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, my relationship is different compared to yours and mine, but that's my boy. Yo, I can't say that. That's my boy. Nate's in the military right now, holding it down for the U.S. So,
Nate's in the military?
Yeah,
dang, that's crazy.
So don't try anything crazy because he'll come parachuting down and get on you.
Dang, bro. Speaking of some of the GOATs, I think we have a special guest who I think a lot of people would also consider the GOAT, my man Sandro Platzgummer, but he also, like everyone else in here, don't know how to use technology, even though he's like a doctor. So we're gonna talk about this Game Pass raffle. We got to actually have a Game Pass raffle to give away. If you guys want a free Game Pass for 2024, catch all the games, all that good stuff, comment Euronics, EURONICS in the chat. And my man Jimmy Neutron is going to pick a winner, and it's not going to be Glenn. So Glenn, don't even type it in there.
Hold on, Glenn won?
Glenn won.
What did he win?
A Game Pass. I don't know why. Oh, look, yo, Styles, where my Game Pass? Hey, man, I don't deal with that stuff. All I do is I just say what's written on here, and then someone else is supposed to give you a Game Pass. But I think because you won, Glenn, they probably just said, Glenn's an exception. Glenn is like low key the guy that like he's just like the guy I feel like everyone's just gonna roast the whole year.
Well, hey man, Glenn, I'll give it to Glenn because Glenn was I didn't know who Glenn was when he played at Dresden. I just saw this running back in the backfield. I said, yeah, he's trash. Get out of it. Next, go to the German Bowl, get him off. And then he came back with a vengeance for the ELF and has put on display how to tote the football as a European running back.
It's true. He's
not
true.
European. He's Brexited from a guy that's overseas, an overseas running back.
He's the overseas running back, Glenn Tunga. I will say too, yeah, I didn't know who he was at first. European running backs, I don't give a lot of respect to typically. But then I was like, hearing all this stuff about him, and I was like, oh, he's pretty good. And then I met him at Ryan Fire, and he opened his mouth, and I was like, man, yeah, he's trash.
Did you smell his breath?
No, man. He just his voice threw me off. Like I thought I was expecting like this deep, like, yeah, man, come over here, Ryan Fire, and he was like had that high voice with the British accent, and I was like.
That's my boy Glenn.
And then here's the thing. That's what's so goofy about Glenn. He's like such a nice guy, and he has just like that. He's funny, but then he goes out and hurdles a guy and does this crazy Superman move in the championship game. Does all these things. It's like, man, I can't figure him out.
He's been working his tail off. I know that. Yeah. He's been working his tail off, and he's doing some other stuff too. But he's working his tail off.
All right, Roby, it's time. Who you want to pick here in the chat to get a free Game Pass? By the way, Glenn, if you want your Game Pass, you need to send a text to somebody. Not me, but somebody. I think Max, our producer, or hey, look, we got Willie in the chat.
Yeah, Willie G. I see it pop up in there.
Willie, Roby the GOAT.
What do I do? I just pick somebody's name?
Yeah, but let's talk about this for a second. Who are you gonna pick? Because I want to hear your reasoning.
So hold on, let me flick through this thing a little bit.
Matty Ice is in the chat too. Matty Ice needs a free Game Pass. He must be struggling. Well, who am I kidding? We're all European football players. We all struggling.
Preach. You know what? I'm gonna go with how you even say this? Jens Steinhauser.
Where? Hold on. Why?
Yeah, I don't know why, bro. It stuck out. Jens Steinhauser. Or Jans, how do you say his name?
Why? Well, give me your reasoning.
Because it's just different, bro. I don't know anybody named Jens Steinhauser.
Bro, you lived in Germany. There's about 8,000 yens.
That's the thing. I've lived there, but I never met a Jens Heinstauser.
His name ain't Heistauer, whatever.
Jens Steinhauser.
Jens Steinhauser, welcome.
Ooh, yes.
You getting a free Game Pass. We're actually going to give you the one we were going to give to Glenn.
Glenn, you don't need it.
And it looks like we're going to get our boy Sandro in here. I don't know if his Wi-Fi is good or not. No, he dropped back out.
Congratulations, Jens Steinhauser.
Congratulations, Jens. Just send a DM to the ELF page, and they'll get you taken care of.
Saying thank you. I appreciate it.
You get a autographed Game Pass by Glenneth.
Yeah, see? It's in English Stonehouse.
In Ingig.
English Stonehouse. Yeah, he deserves it. You deserve it, my man.
Hey.
You deserve that.
We should talk about who had the worst season out of all the imports last year. Because I got my vote.
The worst season out of all the imports?
Yeah.
Well, the ones that got sent home, obviously.
That's true. I would say I had the worst season of all the imports, bro. I couldn't do anything. We had no offense.
Yeah, that was hard to watch when y'all
came to. It was brutal, bro. It was so brutal. And then I got beat up.
But I feel for you, bro, because you was doing that. I'll never forget the first time I ever played you when you was at Marburg, and it was the same thing. And I said, I remember coming up to you, and I'm like, bro, and your jersey was ripped up, you was hanging, sweating. I was like, yo, more proud of you, bro. Like,
wait,
bro.
What team were you on at that point? Were you Frankfurt or were you?
I was on the Corns.
Okay. Yeah, man. I was everywhere. I was playing offense, defense, special teams, punter.
Yep. Oh yeah, you were punting.
I was punting too, bro. And then against y'all, Ryan Fire, I was the social media guy during the game.
Jack of all trades, doing too much, man. Doing too much.
Oh man.
When I'm done, I'm gonna do all that. When I'm done, I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna get in, go in and talk to everybody. I'm trying to be side by side with Miss Jennifer Becks. I'm trying to do her job with her.
Who's Jennifer Becks?
You know, the cute little blonde lady that walks around ELF.
I thought you were trying to stay away from females.
No, I am, but I'm saying like that's the job that I want to do. Her job. You feel me?
You're a hypocrite, bro.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
This guy don't want stress from females, but then he wants to be around them all the time.
Oh, that's coined.
Hey, can I get some Ryan Fire guys in the chat to tell me if Roby has been staying away from females in Dusseldorf?
I hope there's no females watching us. No, it was actually them, bro. It was them. All the Ryan Fire guys, they're the ones that we gotta watch out for.
Yeah.
There's just some hooligans out there. There's some hooligans out there.
All right, Sandro, are you here yet? We're still waiting on Roby, a lover boy. Is that true?
Willie P's undercover lover boy. don't think I didn't see you sneaking out the apartments.
Oh gosh.
That's right. That's right, Yank.
What was I gonna ask? I had a question for you. Man, I forgot. Oh yeah. Let's talk about you, bro.
What's up?
Where are you gonna play? Are you still playing football or what? You working at McDonald's now? What you doing?
Madden upstairs.
Playing Madden?
Playing Madden upstairs. Not online though. I like to be by myself now.
So 31. You're 31, right?
31 years old. Got a couple championships, couple
Matter of fact,
accolades
look.
under my belt.
I need to look at. I actually have Roby's resume right here, real quick. Let me just take a look. It says 31 years old. Lives at his mom's house. Just started career at Home Depot. What does that say?
Somebody got to stack that timber.
Student loan, still waiting.
Finished.
Now let's talk about that for a second, bro. All right, what are you going to keep playing? What's the deal? Let us know.
Yeah. For everybody out there, I'm still trying to play. We got some things in the works. Out of respect for the teams involved, I ain't gonna say nothing yet. But you will see Roby on European soil. I gotta be, man. My whole life has been there. I gotta be back there some way, somehow. My mother has told me that she does not see me marrying somebody on this side of the pond. She said, "You're probably gonna marry somebody over there in Europe." And I said, "She better love Christ." So I hope so.
Come on. What? Hey, put in the chat right now. Let's see. Can I get you guys a chat? What country will Roby's wife be from?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Germany, Austria, Spain. Where's she gonna be from? German. Okay. By the way, it looks like Sandro is not gonna make it. He's got some technical problems. We're gonna have to have Sandro on next week.
That's what I was
Unfortunately,
talking about, man. That Austrian lifestyle. I have no clue about it. And Sandro's proving my point.
yeah. Well, now you can't find out anything else. But we were just talking about it too before the show. You know, Roby, you said that it's hard to come back to America. You know, spending most of your adult life in Europe playing football and coming back to America. Everyone who's been in America is kind of getting there. They've already had their lives going for 10 years. Talk a little bit about the sacrifice that you have to make if you want to really go impact the game in Europe.
So yeah, definitely. If you want to do this kind of as your life, it is tough. And I've seen it too. I mean, I've seen guys and I've heard the stories of guys when they come off this high of being quote unquote in this like small NFL environment where you're seen as the person and you're the big name and you get all this notoriety. And then they come back to America or they're about to leave Europe and they're like, what do I do now? And they get kind of in their mind and they get lost a little bit. And I've heard the stories of guys losing their minds and just kind of not knowing what to do. So it takes a toll on you if you let it. The biggest thing for me with that was understanding that in order for me to play this game at a high level and have these coaches consistently still want me to be there, I have to work as if I was still in college. I had to work as if I was still training for the NFL. I had to work as, even though I had all these accolades and all these championships, I have to still be the best player that I can be. So it's not just, just another import. That's one thing, bro. For me, I didn't want to just be just a guy that came over and because you've seen it. You've seen the guy that comes over, plays a couple years, does whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I've had conversations with people off of the field where I really do want to stay in Europe and help grow the game in whatever facet that may be. And even worldwide. I know working with Brandon Collier and speaking to guys in NFL London and all that stuff, and just the avenues you can take if you really want to help grow this game. And I think that it's going to be, it's like you said, back to the main point of sacrificing, you have to sacrifice it. And you have to understand that it's not going to be an easy road. There's going to be times where you're like, damn, I'm behind the 8 ball. Damn, what am I going to do now? Damn, my life is like, and I don't know what to do. I'm not making all this money like my friends are. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Like, what is my life for? But I think once you kind of understand like your purpose, and I know there's guys that are going to be done after 1, 2, 3 years. I just found it my little niche in it, and I love it, and it's something where I understand now my lifestyle, and it's definitely misunderstood by a lot of people. And you have to kind of just be in your own lane, and you can't let outside noise get in and kind of deter you from what you actually want to do with playing football in Europe,
right? And
with doing it. And I think Coach Newman coined it perfectly. He said you got to be a professional amongst amateurs. So you take this game as a profession, man, as what your life is like. Because you look at it how the guys in the league play and all that stuff, and in any sport around the world, if you're a professional in it, It's your lifestyle. That's how you live.
Right.
And that's kind of that's the approach I've taken to European football, and that's kind of where I'm at, man. It is tough though. Like it's not the easiest thing. It is tough going back and forth and trying to find a way and just trying to find a team and a bunch of people that believe in what you see and like kind of your vision for what could be. And that's what I try to do. I try to bring to every team a vision of what things could be. And I think Ryan Fire did a great job of taking a lot of my visions and the years that I've been there so far and taking it and run with it. I mean, the whole community is behind that thing. Schwäbisch Hall the same way. I mean, you go back to Schwäbisch Hall, any of the places that I'm in, I mean, you leave a place better than when you got there.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a big thing for me is leaving a place better than when I got there. And I think I've done that in Frankfurt, Dusseldorf, Schwäbisch Hall, Finland. I think that's it's been a good journey, but it definitely is a hard one. And if your mindset is not straight on what you actually want to do and what you want to get out of it, then you're going to feel like some of those guys and feel lost and trying to figure out what's the next move, what do I do next, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That makes sense. I mean, I've experienced it myself. There's a couple different types of players that go to play in Europe. There's some that go for a short time to just see something different. And then there's those who it connects to them in a way that lasts for a lifetime. And you and I are both one of those people. I'm still trying to figure out what it will look like for me to be connected to Europe and European football, because for a long time I wrestled with, am I just going to cut off that part of my life and just be done with it and go back and not be a part of it anymore? But I think what I've realized is that I don't think I can. I've invested too much, and I actually do care about it too much to just forget about it and look back one day and say, oh, like there was a period of 6-7 years that I really enjoyed playing football overseas and traveling and stuff, but that was it. I think more likely it's going to be like 30 years from now, I'm still going to be hosting football games in Europe and going from country to country, setting up structures to help other people thrive in the sport.
No, I hear that. And I think the best thing about this is that it's becoming more worldwide. And I just saw a thing about some dude playing down in Australia. That's a bucket list for me. And he said all Australia needs is people that want to come down, live here, and kind of help the game grow and kind of get their input. And I said, dude, I said, sign me up. That would be dope.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can fly that far down because I was tweaked out on the flight back to Boston.
Yeah, and for those watching, when you play European football, they ain't flying you first class. I'll tell you that.
Oh no! You got to work at the box shop down the way to if you want to get them. And you got to save that 300 extra euros to add to that flight they buy you.
Hey, how much did you get paid your first season overseas?
First season overseas, $1,200.
$1,200 a month?
Yep.
Dang, bro, you living that bougie life.
Well, because so people don't understand, man. Frankfurt was awesome. When I stepped off the plane in Frankfurt, I had Wi-Fi in my car. I had a brand new apartment. I had the money. 2 weeks later, Samsung comes in. They throw us a sponsor. Everybody come to practice one day. There's a bunch of cell phones stacked up. We all get brand new cell phones. No SIM card. I didn't know what I was doing. I just had the cell phone and Wi-Fi. And then
yeah, that's why they went broke the next year.
Yeah, they started doing food. Man, we used to, after games in the VIP section, man, DJs, food, everything.
Frankfurt was nice. That's what my second year I went there. But my first year, bro, I made 400 euros a month at Marburg. And you know what they had me do at Marburg? 400, bro. And I was in this tiny little room with 5 people in this house at our owner's grandma, our owner's mom's house, who was like a grandma. So we had this house with a German grandma and 5 American dudes, and I was in this old closet, basically Harry Potter under the cupboard type dude.
That's a horror story.
And bro, but here's the thing: I didn't know any different at the time. I was like, "This is what Europe is about," and so I started from the bottom, and then just kept working. And I loved it more than it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the perks at that point. And so I just started building and building. Every year it got better and better. And but I'll never forget that, man. I'll never forget that's where I started.
No, it's humbling. That's and I always tell people my journey, and I've been blessed. My journey in European football is way different than guys that come over and play now and even back in the day. I went from having the team with the most money to a team that notoriously won everything to then, I mean, the COVID year, obviously, but Finland was awesome. The way that Finland runs everything is great. And then it says European League of Football, right? We're talking about everything. And then coming to the European League of Football in Rhine Fire. I would like to think that I was a big proponent in kind of helping get up to a point where that was, whether it was my ideas, playing wise, off the field, everything. So that's why my jersey's hanging up in some of the places around there. Because like I said, you leave a place better than when you first got there.
Yeah.
I would like to think that, man. It's been that's crazy, bro. My journey is way different than a lot of guys. And I always tell them that. Like, you see what we post on social media and you see like the cool photos and everything that we have and the videos that you and Nauf made and all that stuff. That's not everybody's journey. You may have to go and play in like my boy right here said, the Hellhound Cairo Hellhounds. You might have to go play you might have to go play in Cairo for a year and just make a whole bunch of noise, and then go play in Spain, make a whole bunch of noise, and then go to Germany and see what you could do. Right. So I mean, it's just everyone's journey is different. But and back to the main point, bro, the European League of Football is scary now because you got the UFL and the XFL, and all these coaches think that going to get those guys is a better avenue than the guys that have been around. So you gotta really do your due diligence and really like stay on your game. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, that's all for today, guys. I appreciate you joining in. Sorry you couldn't hear from Sandro. He'll be joining us next week.
Sandro.
Special shout out to my boy Roby for joining us and stepping in my man Nauf's place and just being a good co-host. Appreciate you. We're excited to find out where you end up this year.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it, man. Hopefully I'll be back on. Like they said, if this was a good test run, I'll be back.
Yeah, man. Maybe we get three co-hosts.
I don't now if we laugh too much, it would be a laughing fest.
Yeah, man. That's if you ever hang up the cleats. I could see you being that guy that's 45 talking about I can still run a 4.5.
Bro, until the wheels fall off.
That might be a while, but all right, y'all. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week at the ELF live show.